take that parental kind of responsibilities. I want to segue into working together, because the audience may not know that you guys have 2 kids. And how do you guys, I know people don't like to talk about it a whole lot, but I think even for my wife and I, we'd love to hear more about your work-life balance, because Sophia and I couldn't work together. I think we love each other dearly, but we fight all the time. How do you guys,
She's already fighting with you. She's like, no, we wouldn't.
So how do you guys do it? Balancing movies, work, 2 kids. How do you guys find the balance? You know, how often are you guys talking about work, and do you guys ever cut it off and say, hey, it's just family time right now?
No, we don't cut it off, or I don't think, but not necessarily in a bad way. I think, you know, we've been together for a long time, and we tend to share a lot of similar interests. I think that's one reason, you know, couples can stay together for a long time, is when you have a lot of shared interests. And so I think we do find ourselves talking about business, but as much as anything, just the creative process pretty regularly. So it doesn't ever feel like, oh my God, I don't want to talk about, you know, this project. I don't want to talk about this script. Yeah, I can't talk about it anymore. It's just never really an issue for us, I don't think.
I know. First of all, we chose well, right? Way back in 1992, we chose well. So we have all that history that goes into our daily life. And we're pretty yin and yang.
Yeah, we talk about that because I feel like you guys are very complementary.
We are. We're really complementary. So he's very diplomatic and business-minded and calm. And I'm like a fiery, like, emotional, like, I bring a whole other energy to things. And he can talk endlessly about the economics of movies, the marketing of movies, the dates, and all that stuff. And I'm all about what do the characters want, and you know, how's the plot going to service the theme? You know, the things that I studied, which were like Shakespeare and the Greek tragedies, and like what can I bring to the creative side of it? And you know, he's like, what's the poster gonna look like? And you know, and so it really is very complementary. We found, I think, a great balance of, you know, we don't do the exact same things, so we're able to share the brain space for each movie, and we really love it. That's the other thing. We love the creative process. We like the collaboration. No movie gets made by one person. So if I don't even know how you know, everybody has a team. No producer, you have people, you know, you work with people, whether it's the writers, the directors, and so it's part of movie making anyway. And so to have someone that you trust totally, you trust their taste, you know, their honesty, like that's what we have. And so, and not everybody has that. And I think that's gives us, it's not an advantage at all, but it gives us, I don't know what the word is.
It's your strength.
It's our strength as producers.
But if it's a Venn diagram, is there any intersection where you might weigh in on the poster and Max might weigh in on the characters?
Of course.
Yeah.
There's lots of crossover. I'm maybe being a little simplistic for the,
I would
lots
put
of
it,
crossover.
I would put it a little differently, but saying kind of the same thing. I think, you know, since I basically sound like the creative hack, and she sounds like a flaky artist.
Right.
No, I mean, the truth is, as a producer, there is any number of ways of accessing concepts and content and ideas. There's top down and there's bottom up, and you know, it varies from project to project, which makes more sense. And ideally, if you're working in the commercial space, which we are in terms of, you know, we're predominantly looking to make studio films, you're looking to kind of ideally meet in the middle somewhere between the concept-driven, marketable ideas where you believe there's a clear audience, and the bottom-up organic growth of that idea in terms of who the characters and how do they evolve and arc through a story. And I think if you end up on one side or the other of the ledger too strongly, then you end up making a certain type of, or trying to make a certain type of film that you just put yourself in a small box. So I tend to be top down the way I look at a lot of ideas. She tends to be bottom up in the way she kind of approaches ideas. You're not really driven by kind of concept and the big idea. You get much more to the granular grassroots level of a concept and the characters, whereas I tend to be, I feel like I've had a pretty good eye for top-down, concept-driven ideas. To me, if I don't understand why more than 10 people are going to see, well, if I don't understand why more than 10 million people aren't going to see a film, it's not really that interesting to me.
Right.
That's the kind of bar it has to clear.
But I like the way you guys are describing it, because I think, Liz, what you described is kind of side by side,
Yeah.
an intersection in the middle, and then Max, you're top down, but it's all about meeting in the middle,
Yeah.
and that's where you get your greatest strength.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and mutual respect.